I do think it's important for all of us to remember, even though it's been almost a year, what was happening in this country when we walked through that front door. Because, people seem to have a sort of a selective memory. People seem to forget. They seem to think that suddenly I was sworn in and there was this big financial crisis. So let's just do a little walk down memory lane. We were facing an economic crisis unlike any that we've seen in our times. We were losing 700,000 jobs a month. Our financial system was on the brink of collapse. Economists of every political stripe were saying we might be slipping into the next Great Depression. And that's why, working with Nancy Pelosi and working with Harry Reid, we passed boldly and swiftly a Recovery Act that's made a difference in the lives of families and communities in every corner of the country. And California has been particularly hard hit. And I know families here are struggling more than folks in a lot of other parts of the country. And leaders are having to make tough choices how to navigate through this economic storm. But I also know that if it hadn't been for that Recovery Act, here in California and all across America, if it weren't for the Recovery Act, we'd be in a much deeper hole, and that is a fact. This notion that somehow we figured we'd come in and after about 9 months, okay, we got that taken care of. That's not how the campaign worked. You remember us grinding that out? All those phone calls, all those knocking on doors slammed in your faces, people couldn't pronounce my name. You remember that? That wasn't easy. So we didn't think that change was going to be easy. But part of what was inspiring was understanding the effort that was going to be required. It restored in us this sense that there are things that are worth fighting for. That there are things that are worth grinding it out. There are things that are worth taking some criticism for. That we're not just taking the easy road. That we're going to be responsible to make sure that the next generation has the kind of America that we all dream about. That's what the campaign was about. We believe in a strong and loyal opposition. I believe in a two-party system where ideas are tested and assumptions are challenged, because that's how we move this country forward. But what I reject is when some folks decide to sit on the sidelines and root for failure on health care or on energy or on our economy. What I reject is when some folks say we should go back to the past policies when it was those very same policies that got us into this mess in the first place. Another way of putting it is when, I'm busy and Nancy's busy with our mop cleaning up somebody else's mess. We don't want somebody sitting back saying, you're not holding the mop the right way. Why don't you grab a mop? Why don't you help clean up? I hope that the election was not just a fad. I hope that people didn't just think, well, that's done. That was fun. I really like those posters. I need you guys to understand that what we're trying to do is hard. And I want you to be excited by that. I want you to be energized by that. Because if it was easy, it would have already been done. If it was easy, it wouldn't have been worth all the effort to get here. And I want everybody to know who are standing in the way of progress, I'm not tired. I'm just getting started. You can throw whatever you want at me. Keep it coming. We're going to get this done. We're going to get health care done. We're going to get clean energy done. We're going to get climate change done. We're going to fix our schools. We are going to deal with the problems internationally that I was elected to deal with. We don't hang on to the past. We always move forward. And that movement doesn't begin in Washington, it begins with you. It begins because the American people decide it's time to move forward. You decide it's time for change. And if you do that now, just as you did during the campaign, we are not only going to rebuild our economy, we are not only going to pass health care, but we're going to do what earlier generations have done. We are going to leave something better for our children, not just here in the United States, but all around the world. So I hope that you aren't tired either, because I expect you to stand along with me as we get this business moving.